Yeah, we'll talk about the Bundesliga, where it seems like Bayern, of course, will end up winning at the end of the season because they got their big result over Leipzig.
Yeah,
So no,
crazy
no,
game.
no drama in Bundesliga really.
Oh, there's some drama. We'll get into in the second ones.
Okay,
but
good.
but for Bayern Munich versus RB Leipzig, I think Liam and I were watching this on the Twitch watch along, and we were very impressed by Leipzig, how they're pressing, how they're winning the ball high up the pitch, but they're unable to. They created some good chances, of course, but they weren't able to get the chances to score the goal. Manuel Neuer made some good saves as well, and the only goal to separate them was Thomas Müller passing it to Leon Goretzka, who fired it to the back of the net. And the differences between clubs like Bayern and the rest can sometimes be just quite small, but it's just a bit of quality that Bayern has. And
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
And
without.
I also not. I think it's. Well, I was gonna sorry. I was gonna say Bayern just have so much confidence in themselves. They know they can get a result against any team in the world. So
they just
that
have the
bravado
perseverance.
they
They
have.
know when their backs are against the wall where they need to get a win to potentially win the Bundesliga, they end up finding a way to get it. You always see it in the matches in the last few years against Dortmund, whether they just
Big
get
game
that
team.
small chance to score the goal and get the advantage, or they just smash Dortmund at that point.
I was just trying to say that's without Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Just the absolute.
The thing is, a lot of
Man
people are
right
like, "Oh, how is Bayern gonna be without Lewandowski?" Like, they don't solely rely on him. They can win without him. It's
Yeah.
Bayern
They
Munich.
they showed that they can win without him, and
And I think there was a joke going around like, okay, I think it was Muller asked, who's going to score the goals for you now? Goretzka. Or something. Like, oh, girl, Goretzka will score. And he scores.
yeah.
So, and like, I think people were like also saying it's like, oh, this means PSG should go through comfortably. Well, not comfortably against Bayern, but they're the favorites now because Lewandowski, because he's out for 4 weeks, unfortunately. I'm like, no, don't ever count out Bayern Munich. Like, there's something about them that like they're I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but you know what I mean, I think.
I understand the sentiment you're saying. But just going through other quick results in the Bundesliga. Massive match for top four and potentially a future of one of Dortmund's players. Frankfurt defeated Dortmund 2-1. I watched the first half of this match. Dortmund did not impress me that much. I thought their play style, they tried to cross the ball too much and it went to nowhere really. I thought that Haaland had a few good chances to score though, but unfortunately he wasn't able to take them. And Schultz scored a very odd home goal. He headed the ball backwards and it ended up going into his own net. And then Mats Hummels did score off a corner. Of course, Dortmund's top performers this season for the goals have been Haaland, Sancho, and Mats Hummels, because Hummels somehow scores a bunch of goals for Dortmund. But it was still 1-1 going to halftime. I missed the second half, but I did see the goal that won it for Frankfurt, where Kostic, who's been playing incredible recently, he ends up crossing it to Andre Silva, who heads it into the back of the net. I hope I'm not misremembering that, but yeah, Frankfurt, huge win. That keeps them 7 points ahead of Dortmund in 4th place with 7 games left in the Bundesliga.
That doesn't look pretty. Like, I want to give Dortmund some love, but their season has been, inconsistent, and they're trying to keep hold of Haaland. It's gonna be tough. I know they want to keep him until next season. They don't want to. Their price tag's like 150 million. So, and I doubt they're gonna win the Champions League in order to stay next year. So,
yeah, and results like that that's what makes Haaland want to leave. Like it's. Especially if you're not going to be in Champions League next year.
Now, if we look at the top 5 here, though, Dortmund, they obviously you still have a chance, even if it's 7 points behind. But for the top 4 race, let's look at the losses each of the teams in the top 4 have. They have either 3 losses or 4 losses. Dortmund have lost 10 times this season.
Yeah.
If you lose 10 times in a season, Champions League shouldn't even be a question for you. You're not going to be getting into the European competitions next year.
You got to at least turn some of those losses into draws. At least. And it's just... It shows that they just can't get it done on some nights. Like, it's like where the good teams, even if they play bad, they'll still get a okay result or a good result kind of thing.
Gotta give fair play to Wolfsburg, man. They've been performing well recently. They got the 1-0 victory over Cologne. It's just a solid team. They got a bunch of young talent in there that are promising and developing well. They've got a bunch of veterans in there that are continuing to perform and helping them get into the top 4. I did not expect Wolfsburg to be a contender for the top 4 this season, but they've proven a lot of people wrong, and I'm very excited to see what happens with them for the rest of the season. Of course, Schalke.
Yeah.
Schalke.
Well, they're gonna get relegated.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, they lost to Leverkusen. Mustafi has been dropped from the squad. Apparently, he might not even play another game for the rest of the season. I read a comment. Is Mustafi loved by any of the clubs he's been at? And I felt kind of bad when I read that.
Unfortunately, no. His confidence, his mental state is probably not the best. I feel for the guy. I hope he can maybe find a different club where he can kind of get away from the media. Where he can actually
hopefully it'd be better.
Yeah, but when your club's in the relegation zone, I don't think it's gonna help either, man.
Yeah.
So.
Leverkusen defeated Schalke 2-1. They're still struggling this season. They're exactly the same position as Dortmund, and of course other matches went on.
That's the thing. You consider where Leverkusen and Gladbach were earlier in the season. It's like, what happened?
Gladbach, I think that's more to their coach, like the ownership saying that their coach is going to Dortmund at the end of the season, and players being less motivated to play, I guess.
100%.
But Leverkusen were undefeated in the season, halfway through the season or something?
Until they played Bayern, Greg.
Bayern just ruins teams.